when I was 13 years old, living in a small suburban neighborhood near those thick woods. My friends and I did what most rowdy kids do. Mischievous things. We called it ding-dong ditch. We'd ring the doorbells of unsuspecting neighbors and dash away before they could catch us. It was harmless fun. Or at least, that's what we thought back then. There was Mark, James, Matt, and me. Mark and James would run up to the doors, and Matt and I would always find the best hiding spots. One night, we decided to hit up a few houses we hadn't pranked before. After a few harmless stunts, we found ourselves on a block with old, run-down houses and more woods surrounding them. I should have known something was off when I saw the first house. A decrepit small home with overgrown grass and a rusty car in the driveway. It looked forgotten. Mark, always the brave one, decided to ring the doorbell. The man who answered was huge, like he had been waiting for us. His face twisted into a furious snarl as he stomped around the yard, checking bushes and shouting threats. We laughed, thinking it was just another grumpy guy. But this time, something felt different. He didn't seem to be messing around. We hid in the shadows, holding our breath, as Mark went back to ring the doorbell again. But this time, something happened that made my heart skip. The man didn't just come out angrily like before. No, he came out with a rifle. We froze. My stomach twisted with fear. I don't know what came over me, but I couldn't move. My mind screamed, but my body wouldn't obey. The man checked everywhere. Behind trees, the car, then froze in the center of the yard, slowly turning his head toward the woods where we were hiding. I thought I was going to die. For a full minute, he just stared. We held our breath, praying he wouldn't see us. Finally, he went back inside, and then he stood motionless by his window, still staring in our direction, like he knew we were out there. Incredibly, Mark rang the bell again. I could hardly believe it. As soon as Mark bolted, the man came out again, looking crazed, his eyes scanning the yard more frantically than before. We were too scared to even move, let alone warn him. Suddenly, we heard Mark shout from across the street, "Run!" I didn't understand at first, but when I turned around, there he was, the man, rifle raised, chasing us. My heart pounded as we ran. We scrambled, weaving between houses, barely managing to escape into the woods. The sound of footsteps behind us growing louder and louder. We ran for blocks, desperate to lose him. Finally, we stopped to catch our breath. Mark explained that the man had slipped into the woods, gun in hand, his eyes wild with anger. We didn't report it though. What could we say? We didn't even want to be near that house again. But the scary part? The next day, my friend Matt passed by the house on his way to school. He noticed something chilling. The man wasn't there. But the house, the very house we had dared to prank, was completely different. The yard was clean, the car was gone, and there were new lights on. A neighbor later told Matt that the man had disappeared years ago. No one had seen him in ages, except us. So who or what did we really encounter that night? Have you ever heard footsteps when no one was around? Because we certainly did.